Hello everyone, my name is Emerald. Welcome back to the Creative Soul Sanctuary. I am on day 3 for my Black BookTube is Reading challenge. Like I mentioned in my video yesterday, I fell back a little bit, but I'm back on today and I wanted to share with you guys my bargain book finds because I don't know if you're like me, but I really want a huge library, but I don't have the money to just go and buy $18, $20 books frequently. However, I found a few bargain stores and websites where you can find really good books gently used that you can add to your collection. So to start off, I want to introduce you guys to a book by Vivian Ayers. It's Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen's mother. They released this book in honor of her 100th birthday, and my mom got this for me as a gift. So it is not really from a bargain situation, it's a gift. However, if you make it known to the people in your life that you love to read and that you are inspired to become a writer, you might just get a good book, and it's short. I feel like this is a good read for someone who has like a short attention span because it's not a lot of pages, as you can see, and it's an easy read. I have to go back and reread it and then I'll give you guys a full review. But I love Felicia Rashad. She's a wonderful actor. I love the way her and Debbie Allen carry themselves with grace, and so I was really excited to get this book. All right. So next up, we'll talk about Book Club of the Month. Now, I ended up getting this for $5 because I found a code, and so my first book was only $5. Now, granted, I did stop getting the book club after a couple of months because I couldn't continue affording it. However, if you want to get your first book for $5, Book Club of the Month, and this one is Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. She's a Caribbean writer. I think she now resides in Italy. But I got this book. It was chosen for me, and honestly I just fell in love with it because of the cover. But it's one of the many books that I have to catch up to reading because I own 50 books, I want to say, and I haven't actually completed any of them. So that'll be a challenge, and I hope to have all that complete before we reach September. Yes. All right, next up, I want to talk about I don't know if you guys have a Deals outlet store where you live, but it's a place where you can go and find deals, and each day it's a different price. My sister, who lives in Florida, she originally contacted us and my mom and my other sister about this store, and she said, you guys, depending on what day you go in, you can get stuff for $1, $3, $5, or $10. They have everything in there, clothes, shoes. She's just gone on, and I'm thinking, this girl's getting scammed, you know? So I wasn't sure because I was a little questionable if it was in Orlando. It may not be good, but it was a real thing, and we ended up finding one here at, I believe we went out to Byron, to theirs. And as soon as we went out there, we walk in, and of course my mom gets distracted by home decor. My sister is over there with the shoes. I'm in my wheelchair, and honestly it's a big store, so normally I won't wheel myself around, but you guys, I gained the strength from nowhere when I looked up and saw that shelf, like that big shelf of books. I was moving. I got all the way back there and I looked through all of the books, and I was so excited because they had some new releases. They had some books that were on my list of books to find, but the only two that were about Black Americans, or in this case someone from London, but just Black stories in general. Those are the ones I reached for. And so very first up, it's not a book you read, but I love playing the piano, and I ended up finding Willie Dixon's composer book, Master Blues composer book, and it has all of the sheet music in here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's all of the sheet music in here, and it's something really cool to just have on hand. I didn't really know much about his music, unfortunately, but all I knew is that he was Black and I needed to own that. Okay, so now it's in my house, and this book only cost me $3. All right, so that is from Bargain Book Outlet. The next book that I ended up finding is Billy Waters is Dancing by Mary L. Shannon. Now, I don't know much about this author, okay? Bear with me. I just saw the cover It was about a Black person, and I read the synopsis and fell in love. So I'm going to share it with you guys. It says, every child in London knew Billy Waters, the celebrated king of the beggars. Likely born into enslavement in 1770s New York, he became a sailor in the British Royal Navy. But when he lost his leg in a fall from the rigging, the irrepressible Waters created a new role for himself. He became London's most famous street performer. His extravagantly costumed image blazed across the stage and in print, and his legend would live on for decades. But for all his contemporary renown, Waters died destitute in 1823. And that's when I realized I have to get this book, because so many stories about Black Americans, Caribbeans, etc., the stories don't really get told. We get the movies about the same people over and over and over again. And I really would love someone to do a movie about Billy Waters. I'm a distant relative of Mattie Wilda Dobbs, the first Black opera singer to perform for the Queen in England, I believe. Yes. And I was so fascinated by that, and I couldn't understand why she didn't have a movie. So I love opera, and just to hear her voice is amazing. She has a beautiful voice. And so that's a story that I just really want to be told, and hopefully someone will write a story about her one day. But yes, if it's a story about a figure that we don't hear about a lot, I have to pick it up. I feel like I have to collect that story, and I have to tell as many people about it as humanly possible. So this is Billy Waters. It's Dancing, How a Black Sailor Found Fame in Regency Britain. So yes, and I only paid, I think this book was $5 when I went in that day. So that's Dill's Outlet. I don't know if you have one in your area, but of course you can always Google it. And you may be able to also pick up some $19 or $20 books for $3 or $5. You never know. They also have shoes and home decor stuff. You can get a little bit of everything. Next up, Books A Million. I did not know about the bargain section of Books A Million. It had been a few years since I've been in there. So admittedly, I didn't know what was going on. But Books A Million, for me, is a candy store or a shoe store for a lot of people. When I walked into Books A Million, I'm not gonna lie, I felt this shower of excitement come over my body, and I was like, I gotta go everywhere. I have to see everything. Like, I was losing it. And I went to the back, and I see they have a bargain section, and so of course I got something. So the very first book I got, the other one is with my sister, but this is from Yasi. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that name wrong, but she's a Ghanaian writer, or she or he, I'm not sure. A Ghanaian writer, and the book is Homegoing. This is another book that I was intrigued by because the story is about two half-sisters, Afia and Essie. They were born in 18th century Ghana. One ends up marrying an Englishman and lives in a Cape Coast castle, and then she finds out that her half-sister is actually in prison beneath the castle. So this story is kind of interesting of, is she going to look at her sister? Is she going to save her? Are they going to draw closer together? What's going to happen? And that's why I had to reach for this book. And this book only cost me $7.97. And the book was originally, I think, I want to say $18. Don't quote me on that. But I only made it to page, let me see, page 7. That's as far as I've gone in this book. So I keep starting books, and then I find another book, and I start reading that book. It's a problem. All right, next up we have a book that I just started last night, and I can't put it down. It's the William C. Morris Debut Award finalist, which really made me pick up the book. But this cover is what, oh yeah, like it's just so, it's an attractive cover. I see two really nice to put together Black people looking so good, and I'm like, why, what's going on? And then I'm not even going to try to say the author's name, I'm not, but it's called Ace of Spades. And what pulled me in is, how do you stop an unknown enemy? So it's about two kids, Devin Richards and Chiamaka Adebayo. That's Chiamaka there, and that's Devin Richards. So they go to this prestigious academy, and Chiamaka is the popular girl. She is cutthroat. She wants to reach all her goals and make sure she gets to the school of her dreams. She's not playing games. And Devin, he's a scholarship kid, not really cool, kind of laid back, easily forgotten. And then one day, they just start getting harassed by this unknown person, and they have to figure out who it is so that they can save themselves. So Ace of Spades is a book I just picked up. I just started reading it, and I'm already on chapter 3. I could say off of reading it, Chiamaka annoys me, but I like her character. She's like, for me, like Denzel Washington in Training Day. I didn't want to like his character, but I did. You know what I mean? But so Chiamaka is kind of like that. I don't want to like her character, but at the same time, she's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but Devin has my heart right now. So this book I got for $4.97, and it was originally $18.99, and I got it for $4.97 from Books A Million. So I have my little pile of books. Ignore that. I'm gonna slide all of these books right here are from thriftbooks.com. Okay, so we're gonna start right off bat with the Classic Slave Narratives by Henry Louis Gates Jr. I am really fascinated with genealogy. I started researching my family's history when my father got sick. He wanted to hopefully learn more about his father, Daniel Barnes Sr. He didn't get a chance to grow up with his father, unfortunately, and so I was trying to find more information about his family, and in the process, I found that his earliest ancestor on the Barnes side was actually from Cuba and then migrated to Jamaica, and then we have a whole Barnes side over there, and eventually we ended up in Pennsylvania, and then my father ended up coming to Georgia with his mom and siblings. So yes, I got into this and started reading history, and Mary Prince here, the history of Mary Prince, she actually shows up in my genealogy on my grandmother's side, even May Gamage, which I spoke about in the last video. And so it's nice to read from their own words what it was like. And sometimes it's hard to read because for me, I'm like, oh no, they weren't good to you. They because some of them have positive things to say about their enslavers, and it would frustrate me. So I had to pause reading it, but then I remember, I don't know what they experienced prior to with the previous enslavers, and so I have to remember that, you know, the time they're in and the choices that they had set before them. And so now I can go back and read it with an open mind and not like just get so infuriated, because I just don't like hearing about people treated wrong, especially people that just didn't have a chance from the beginning. The cruelties of slavery is heart-wrenching, and the fact that people are so quick to tell us to get over it is frustrating, but that's a completely different conversation that I can go on and on about for an extended period of time, but I won't. This book was actually only $10 off of Thrift Books, and I was very happy that I got it. And it's used, but it looks really nice. All right, the next book up, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know anything about this book, but it was by Alice Walker. I saw her name, and so I picked it up. This is actually a book from Books A Million, and I meant to show it before. But this book only cost me $7.99. It is In Search of Our Mother's Garden. I don't know much about this book, but I really, really, really love Alice Walker, and so I wanted to get into her books. I've been watching her old interviews, and so I've been making it a goal to try to collect all the books from people who I feel connected to through watching their interviews and hearing how they think and how they saw the world, and she's just one of my favorites. And so this book was only $7.99 from Books A Million. I meant to mention this earlier. All right, I spoke about this on my first video, Parable of the Sower. I got this book from thriftbooks.com, and it was originally $19.99. I got the book for $11 from Thrift Books. It was used, but as you can see, it still looks nice. So maybe one day I will donate it to a little library, but right now I just feel so connected to this book and Lauren, and I just feel like more of us need to be like Lauren. She saw what was about to happen, and she prepared, and a lot of us need to do the same thing. Prepare, because the world is getting crazier every single day, and we need to be able to be self-sufficient and care for one another, care for our community, because no one's going to come and help us. And so yeah, that's another reason why I love Black BookTube is Reading. It's really exciting to be amongst community with my fellow people. All right, the next book was suggested to me because I wanted to learn about feminism, but I wanted to read about feminism through a Black lens. And so they suggested Angela Davis' Women, Race, and Class. And this book is intimidating for me. I don't know why, but when I first started reading it, I feel like my brain broke. It was a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't prepared to see that I live it so it's in between many intersections here, because I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman, and I'm a disabled Black woman, and just seeing how everything is connected and affects me was a hard blow, because you would like to believe that, oh no, the world is just, you can go on and things don't affect you in that way, but they do. It has opened my eyes. I did a lot of journaling with this book. I'm going back to read this book again. I'm going to write an essay on it. That's something that I'm starting to do so that I can commit to memory the things that I've read. So I got this book for, I think it was $5. It was also used from thrift books, but again, as you can see, the pages are perfectly fine. I cannot believe I just folded back the cover of this book. That irritated me a little bit, but I'll be okay. All right, next up, we're gonna do these all together. This is The Women and the Men Poems by Nikki Giovanni. We have My House by Nikki Giovanni, and A Good Cry, What We Learned from Tears and Laughter, also from Nikki Giovanni. All of these books I ended up getting for, these two were $6, this one was $11, but they're all used. I have not had a chance to read them yet. As I said, majority of these books I haven't started. That's my goal, and you guys are gonna walk with me through this journey. But I just saw Nikki Giovanni and grabbed it. But this book I have been loving. I go back to listen and read a lot of the poems in here. I just love the way she writes. She makes me want to work my poetry muscle a bit more, because I became a bit intimidated and started comparing myself to other poets and other writers, and I should never have done that, because I ended up silencing my own voice. So comparison is a thief of joy, and so I have her books to learn from her experiences, her wisdom, and hopefully one day I'll be able to write works that are this good and have a huge impact on people's lives. Next, we have The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I bought this book used as well. I got it for $12. It was originally on market for $16. This book made me cry, because Pecola, everything she went through, like the childhood trauma, in a lot of ways I could connect with her on. And then also the fact that she couldn't see her own beauty because she thought having blue eyes and white skin would make her more beautiful. And how many, regardless of your race, have felt that way, because the media pushes a standard of beauty, and if you don't fit in with that, you can be treated differently, you can be looked down upon, and it can affect your self-esteem. Especially in the 2000s, when I was in middle school, it was really bad when it came to weight, your skin tone, your hair texture, everything. And so people my age, myself and so many others, ended up falling into the I don't want to trigger anybody, but there was a certain website that would help you control certain things about your body so you can be the perfect size, that we fell into. And I wish I had read this book back then. I think it would have done a lot for 12-year-old me, and I wouldn't have fallen down that dangerous path. So Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye, another thrift find from thriftbooks.com. Lastly, we have The Complete Poets of Paul Laurence Dunbar. It took me a while to find this baby. I ended up getting this from thriftbooks.com for, I think it was between $10 and $12. And yo, you guys, first of all, I don't know, it's something about when books look like this, it makes me feel happy, because it reminds me of the books I would find in my grandmother's house. And you know, there's so much history in this book. Like, I want to know what was the story of the person that had this. And it was really cool, because when you open the book, it said love to Bob and happy birthday Mary. So I don't know who Bob and Mary are, but thank you guys for keeping this book in such great condition. And now I can own it, one of the original copies. I appreciate you so much. So that's one of the cool things about thrift books. Of course you get used books, but sometimes you get cool little things like that, people's notes, and you get to, I don't know, it feels like having a piece of whoever that was. And this was given to them in 1958. The date is right up there. You probably can't see it, but yeah, it's one of my favorite books. I got into his poetry 2 years ago. I love the fact that he writes in oh gosh, I can't even explain it. Like, some of them are written in his same, I guess you would say, dialect. I'm not sure. I don't know the word for it, but I love reading those poems the most. And I really wish I could write poems in Tutnese, but you're not supposed to translate for people. It's a language for us. So I don't know. I guess if you speak Tutnese, dodo yakayu tatashi nangkak tatashita dai koto yulo da yu sosi Tutnese ainan mamyaka waxertai tatainan juxus. If so, let me know. Leave a comment like yes or no. But just let me know if that's a thing that's okay to do. But the complete poems of Paul Lawrence Dunbar, I got that from thriftbooks.com. So I have made it my goal to find other thrift sites, other places I can get books on sale. One of the other Black BookTube Is Reading members just did a video today about a book outlet site that are having a $5 sale. I will link her video in the description because I didn't even know about that website until I watched her video. So thank you so much. I'm about to go on there and splurge. The sale is over tomorrow. So if you guys want to check it out, go visit her video. At the end of this video, I will include a card for you guys to go check out the Black BookTube Is Reading playlist. Watch all the videos, subscribe to all the creators, learn from them, become a part of their communities, and if you feel like it, join us. All right, we would love to have you. Thank you so much again for watching another video from the Creative Soul Sanctuary, and I'm just glad you guys are still rocking with me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe and let me know in the comments, what websites do you go to for thrift books? What is the coolest book you found recently? Or let me know what book is on your wish list. All right, I look forward to talking to you guys later.